and explain what he's doing with it.
Yeah, thank you. So the first, so this is our candle. Diana always likes me to do that side, but so the first wick I light represents the light of God that's within each and every one of us. The second candle I light represents us as community. We shine a much greater light.
Thank you very much. And I'm going to have John do his song here in just a second, but we're happy to say that we have a special guest here today, Reverend Jeff Ratcliffe. I can get his name out right. All right, John, I'll let you go ahead and get your song up. And hi, Kyle.
All right, here we are together. Here we are. Here we are.
Stop a second, John. You have on your original.
Oh, thanks for reminding me.
Yeah, I could tell it didn't quite sound as good as it did last week. So
Let's see. How do we? I think I have to stop sharing to put it on. Yeah, I gotta remember to do that. All right, now I'll try.
Yeah, can everyone go on echo on mute, please?
Yeah.
that'll help too.
Yep. All right. Here we are for being together, for good, for better, forever. Here we are together, for being, for good, for better. Here we are for healing together, for good, for better, forever. Here we are together, for healing, for good, for better. Here we are for wisdom together, for good, for better, forever. Here we are together, for wisdom, for good, for better. Here we are for love together, for good, for better, forever. Here we are together, for love, for good, for better. Here we are, here we are.
All right. Thank you so much, John. And hello, Kyle. It's great to see you as well. So anyways, I'm very grateful that Reverend Jeff Ratcliffe is with us today. And so I'm going to do the Science of Mind 365, and then John will do his music, and Michael will do the meditation. So, all right, so let me start with 365. So the mind in me is also in all people. The reading from the Bible is from Ephesians 4:23. Be renewed in the spirit of your mind. Emerson said there is one mind common to all individual people which means that the mind of all humans being in one mind, which each uses. Therefore, the mind you use is the mind I use. It is the mind everyone uses. It is the mind of God, and because of the mind of God, it is a complete unity. It is omnipresent. Therefore, the mind that you use and that your mind is the God mind in you. This mind is in all people, envelops also, and is at the center of everything. The mind, which is God, permeates every atom of your being. It is the governing principle in every organ of your body, in the principle of perfection within you. Your thought is the activity of this principle. The principle is perfect, complete, and limitless, but your thought circumscribes its action and causes the very mind of freedom to create conditions of bondage. Your consciousness of the divine presence within you, like light, dissipates the darkness. This is your eternal and true self at the center of your being. It is the mind of God manifesting itself in you as you. This you that is manifest is not separate from itself, but itself. Divine mind within me is perfectly free. I am not merely a shadow of this mind. I am a substance of it. I am the mind in action. I project this mind through my experience. Since the mind within me is the mind of God, and since the mind of God has not only created everything that has ever existed, but also will create everything that ever is going to be, I have within me the ability to project new ideas, new thoughts, new inventions. Calling upon this mind for all the answer to a problem, I am at once know the answer, because the answer is to every problem already is in the mind I possess. So that was the end of Science of Mind. And let John do his music, and I don't know where that music is coming from, but I was confused by it.
Love is in our hearts. Love is in our minds. Love is helping us with being good and kind. Living lovingly in our hearts and minds. Living lovingly, being good and kind. Joy is in our hearts. Joy is in our minds. Joy is helping us with being good and kind. Living joyfully in our hearts and minds. Living joyfully, being good and kind. Peace Peace is in our hearts. Peace is in our minds. Peace is helping us with being good and kind. Living peacefully in our hearts and minds. Living peacefully, being good and kind. Living peacefully, being good and kind.
So let's continue. By taking a deep breath in, inhale, and exhale. Release, relax, and just let go. One more time, inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Now continue breathing, but breathe through your heart. Imagine your heart being the receptacle of your breath, breathing in and out. Become heart-centered and allow yourself to become still. Go to that place within you that's only still and present. And if you're feeling unlike still and present, ask yourself, who is noticing that? Enter into that stillness where that voice came from, that noticed. And as you continue breathing, know with me that there is only that one mind. That mind is the God mind. That mind is our mind. There's only one mind. So we allow ourselves from the stillness, from this being present in this moment. We allow ourselves just to be consciously connected to that. Breathing in and breathing out. Recognizing that we are creative centers of that God awareness, that God consciousness, that God aliveness. We are spirit living its life in us, as us, and through us. So from that place of peace, we just now know that there is, again, that one life, that one activity expressing in and through and as us. So we continue to let that peace that's within us be the peace in our homes and our atmosphere and in our world. So we just now know that anything unlike peace goes back into the nothingness from where it came from. Because it's not the truth about God, it's not the truth about us, being that emanation of the one. So from this place of peace, we just now decree and declare that this time that we spend together is good and very good. And we just bless each and every person that's here today. And we also bless those who are watching on recording. And we just give great thanks for this technology that we're able to spread this wonderful message to the whole world. This wonderful message of peace and light. This wonderful practical spirituality. So I just, again, just bless our time together. And I just now know the words that Jeff will say here in just a few moments are inspired of spirit, and they will change us at depth. And we allow ourselves now just to be in that mode of learning, in that mode of empty cup, to allow ourselves to be filled to overflowing with good. So I just now know, and just now know that each and every person again on this call, this live call, that we again are blessed today because we are together. We are the light of the world. And even though that we are in different parts of the world, different parts of the United States, that we shine a much greater light to the world being together today. And for all of this, I just give great thanks because I know that what we are doing today is good and very good. Being together, we are better together. And so we can shine a much greater light of love and peace to the world. For this, again, I just give great thanks as I now release this word joyfully into that great creative law that only says one thing, and that is yes. Yes, yes, yes. And so it is, so I let it be. Amen.
Love is in our hearts. Love is in our minds. Love is helping us with being good and kind, living lovingly in our hearts and minds, living lovingly, being good and kind.
So as you open your eyes and you come back to the room, I ask that you also open your video. And I want you to then take a moment to look into each other's eyes and see that beautiful spirit that is in with each and every one of us. Take a moment. We enjoy that. One of my favorite parts of our entire service is this moment right here. So, thank you. All right, so now I get to turn it all over to Reverend Jeff Ratcliffe. We are so happy that you are here. I know that Michael and you are always, you're Michael's sidekick or whatever, or you're his sidekick.
He's mine.
Yeah. But either way, on the fireside chat, I enjoy watching it when you both are there. So anyway, so I really, really appreciate you being here and so grateful. And I'm not sure exactly what you're talking about, but I'm just gonna let you talk. So.
Well, thank you, Diane. I appreciate it, and I'm grateful to be here again, to see you. I see familiar faces now. I've been just a couple of times, but I'm starting to recognize who's who. So that's pretty cool. Before we get started, I know that Michael prayed. Let's do that again, just real quick. Let's go within to the quiet place where truth resides. There's only one, existing in and expressing as each one of us. This presence is equally and evenly present throughout the universe, which created itself out of itself. It was never born, and it cannot die. It is with us each step of our life journey because we are that presence in physical form. The presence contains all knowledge, all wisdom, and that wisdom and knowledge reside in us now. We set aside this time together as sacred time to dive into this knowledge, to delve into the wisdom of the one, this time, this sacred time, is our time to open to learning and growing and expressing more fully presence that is us. We know that the oneness of all is merely concealed by the misguided idea of separation and thoughts of duality. But as we become more fully aware of our oneness, we heal the world and bring it back to what it was before it became tainted with ideas and thoughts of separation. So, with gratitude and calm assurance that all is well, regardless of the circumstances, regardless of how things look, we relax and know that we are at peace, and that peace radiates out into the world around us and is sensed and felt by each individualization of the presence. And those individualizations also begin to radiate peace. Peace is what we are. And so we sit for just a moment and allow this knowledge to be so. We give thanks for this opportunity to share the sacred time space of this cyber classroom, Zoom, together. We bless each other, we bless our time together, and we open our hearts to bless the world, and so it is. Amen. Peace was what I was going to talk about. And as I thought about this, I realized that maybe my focus was a little narrow in the remarks that I prepared, but we can expand on those. Last weekend was the International Day of Peace. It was also known as World Peace Day, and it was dedicated to world peace and specifically the absence of war and violence. And that's what most people think of, I think, whenever they hear the word peace, is they think, they think of the opposite of war. And it's no wonder with the news of active military conflicts going on in Eastern Europe and in the Middle East, saber rattling in Far East Asia, and even here in the United States. For most people, peace is the equivalent of the absence of war, but we are a very warlike society. We have a war on drugs, we've had a war on crime. There are factions who declared war on migrants, and many Christian churches emphasize the idea of war in an effort to combat a perceived evil. They speak of putting on the whole armor of God, and one only puts on one's armor when one goes into battle. In the sixth chapter of the book of Ephesians, it mentions the breastplate of righteousness and the shield of faith, the helmet of salvation, and the sword of truth. All of these are weapons of the quote unquote true believer. But on the other hand, we are also exhorted by the master teacher Jesus not to be afraid when we hear of wars and rumors of wars, which is easier said than done if we listen to the hawks in charge of political policy, and if we can't turn off the TV or the radio. It's all around us. When there are constant news updates, it's difficult sometimes to focus only on what we would desire for ourselves rather than what we would not, especially when we've got these outside influences telling us we should be afraid of this, be afraid of that, be afraid of the other. We need to have peace. Many New Thought churches and centers conclude their services with the peace song, "Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me." An interesting story about that song. It was written in 1955 by a woman named Evelyn Merchant. Now, Evelyn was an interesting character because she had several different professional names, including Harleen Wood. That was the name that she used when she first began acting in radio shows. And then she moved into film. And so she did a few films in Hollywood. She also had another professional name, the name Jill Jackson Miller. And she adopted that last name from her husband, songwriter Cy Miller. And it was under Jill Jackson Miller that Evelyn wrote, "Let There Be Peace on Earth." So, world peace. It's what most people think of when they hear the word peace. And they may also think of the anti-war movement of the 60s, the hippies, the protest songs. John Lennon's song, Give Peace a Chance, that comes to my mind. But how do we get to world peace? We get there just like anything else we desire to manifest. We start with ourselves, we go within. We can't have peace in the outer world if we don't have peace in our inner world. Manifesting works from the inside out. So inner peace is crucial if we're going to see peace in the world at large. And Shirley MacLaine once wrote that inner peace is the most valued state of being in the universe. And it is, because if we can cultivate peace within, we can then allow it to spread outward, much like the ripples in a still pond when we drop in a pebble. And the master teacher, Jesus, often went away by himself to pray and to meditate, to recharge himself before continuing the work of teaching and healing the masses. Being around so many people in mental and physical distress had to be taxing, had to really pull on his inner strength and his energies. He needed to return to that center in order to continue working with people in need. And how many of us New Thought folks have adopted his admonition to the storm? Peace, be still. When storms are raging in our own lives and in the lives of our friends and loved ones. Fanny B. James, one of the co-founders of Divine Science, said in her book, Selected Bible Readings, in the understanding of the one that is all power, there is perfect peace. The infinite is all inclusive. Hence, all things rest within infinite presence, and this presence is peace. Peace, be still. So peace is an inside job. Anybody who's ever flown on an airplane will tell you that they've heard the flight attendant instruct passengers to, in case of an emergency, put on your own oxygen mask first before you start to tend to others. We all know that we can't minister to the world if we don't minister to ourselves first. So it behooves us to follow the Christed one's example, to go away for a little while, to enter into our closet and to shut the door so that we can commune with spirit. Ernest Holmes mentioned inner peace several times in his various writings. In Words That Heal Today, he wrote, God is peace. We enter this peace in such degree as we withdraw from confusion. And later on in the book, he says, if there's anything we need, it's peace of mind. Without it, life is not worthwhile. Peace of mind comes only when there's a personal and collective sense of security. This sense of security comes when there is a sense of belonging to the universe. He goes on to say, Jesus knew that no one is or can ever become sufficient unto himself. It's when the soul returns to its source and finds its true center in pure spirit that it enters into that peace which the wise one said the world cannot give. And one of my favorite Ernest Holmes quotes about peace is from the Basic Ideas of Science of Mind. He says, be still, still in every way, and accept that peace of God, knowing it now heals everything within you that hurts, and that its calming action enfolds all your experience. Think peace, feel peace. Know that you are peace because you are a definite, specific expression of God manifesting as you. And you have to draw on to Joel Goldsmith. And in his book, The Art of Meditation, he wrote, as we turn to the kingdom of our inner self, we find the reign of divine power in the outer world. As we seek peace within, we find harmony without. We reach the depth of the soul and it takes over our existence, providing activity and newness of life, a peace and serenity, the like of which we've never dreamed. So the inner peace we gain by doing our inner spiritual work and takes on a life of its own. It radiates out first to those in our households and then to our neighborhoods, our towns, our states, and then our country, and then our world. Because we're one, we know that each time we raise our own vibration of inner peace, others' vibrations will begin to raise as well. Science teaches a concept called entrainment, which is when a rhythm or something which varies rhythmically causes another gradually to fall into synchrony with it. So if we had two harps or two guitars in the room and a string is plucked, it'll begin to vibrate and it causes a sound. But the corresponding string on the second harp or the second guitar will also begin to vibrate because they're on the same wavelength. And this even works with different instruments. You can have a guitar and a piano in the same room. That corresponding string, which makes the same note, is going to vibrate on both instruments. It's not the instrument that's the operative thing, it's the vibration itself. And so, in the same way, people around the world who are pretty close in the wavelength that we're on can either level up, so to speak, to match our vibration, or vice versa. We can level up to theirs if they're vibrating at a higher vibration. As the old saying goes, when the tide comes in, all the boats rise. Author, poet, and philosopher Emily Marushan said, be selective in your focus because your attention feeds the energy of it and keeps it alive, not just within you, but in the collective consciousness as well. So we're entrained with others and they with us. And we move into something else that is known in quantum physics as entanglement. And basically, entanglement means that once something has interacted with something else, the two of them are linked. And they are linked from that moment forward. There's no way to avoid entanglement. And the thing is, we're entangled with all of creation because there's only one, and it's us. Irvin Seal wrote in his book, Why Doesn't God? He said, if God could act as a person, he would prevent war, heal all the sick and diseased, establish peace and brotherhood and plenty all over the earth, enforce the golden rule everywhere. But God cannot do these things except through and as man. Man is the individualization of God, and his realm is the personal, particular, while the realm of God is the universal and the general. In a sense, however, God does all these things, even when they're done through man, for God and man are a unity, and the actor is the same being, whether working on the plane of the universal or working on the plane of the particular. No, definitely and absolutely, said Joseph Murphy in The Power of Your Subconscious Mind. Know that whatever contributes to your peace, happiness, and fulfillment must of necessity bless all men who walk the earth. And one of our colleagues, Reverend Michaels, and my colleagues, Reverend Dennis Merritt Jones, wrote a book called The Art of Being, and he said the secret of inner peace is being present enough in every moment to witness how we see the world and ourselves, and accordingly where we place our power. So it's up to us to maintain our vibration at the highest level we can muster, because we're influencing the rest of the world around us. We've got no choice. It's just how it works. And by the same token, we're also being influenced by the world around us. And it's those times when we feel our vibration is slipping, lowering, whether it's due to what we're thinking or even something out of the blue because we tuned into somebody else. It's those times when we need to rise up in vibration. And we must learn to bring up not only ourselves, but to remember and to realize that those in the world who we're interacting with on a level we don't even see or understand, we're bringing them up as well. So if we're going to have world peace, we have to have it within, because it all works from the inside out. And it's not something we create. It's not something we attract, because creation and attraction imply a separateness from us, a duality. And we're not a duality movement. We're a movement of unity, of oneness. Peace is not something out there somewhere. It's inherent within us because we are divinity, and we express that which is inherent in us. We express what is inherent in the divine. We are peace. Deepak Chopra said, "You're here to be the presence of love. You are here to be the presence of joy. You are here to be the presence of peace. But inner peace affects more than just the world at large when it comes to war and conflict. Looking at the weather around us the past few days, we've seen a lot of people struggling to maintain some semblance of control, some semblance of peace, basically, because when a hurricane comes rolling through your neighborhood, all the control you think you have in your world just kind of flies out the window, and you're basically at the mercy of Mother Nature until she passes by. And there are communities who have been devastated by floods. There have been people who have died in this thing. There has been a lot of fear surrounding Hurricane Helene. And now we've got a couple of other ones that are churning out around in the ocean. And it looks like at least one of them could hit the United States. They're keeping an eye on it. And that's not to put out any idea of fear, but it's for me to say that is to empower us all, because we know that we don't have to be afraid. Paul said that we were not given a spirit of fear, but of love and of power and of a sound mind. And it's time that we take use of our mind and go within to commune with spirit, to find that sense of inner peace so that we can give that to the world. And I can imagine what people who have been really negatively affected by this storm have to be going through as they keep an eye on the weather. They are lacking in inner peace right now, but it's there within them. They just don't know how to find it. So it's up to us to find it for them. And that's the whole idea behind prayer practitioners. We hold the high watch for people when they're not able to do it for themselves. So my challenge to you is also a challenge to myself. It's not to get caught up in the error thinking of the world. When we hear about wars and rumors of wars and armed conflicts and strife in various parts of the world, we stop. When we hear about gang violence or drugs or even the weather, we stop. We remind ourselves that we're divine and we can express whatever principle of spirit we desire. And in this case, we desire peace. And we can express the principle of peace. We can withdraw our attention from all the discord and the strife and those things that make us feel unsettled. And instead, we can think on the things that make us feel peaceful. We can go to a special spot, either in our minds, when we think of where we would feel most comfortable and at peace. If we have a special spot that we can go to physically in the real waking conscious world, go there and do that. Anything to put your focus on what it feels like to be peaceful. One of the things I like to do is I have my favorite colors, but when it comes to wanting to feel peaceful, pink is what does it for me. And they've done studies in prisons with painting some rooms pink and putting in violent prisoners who tend to calm down because there is something in the vibration of the color pink that brings peace. And so I will pull up pictures of pink flowers and look at them. Pink roses, pink lilies, there are all kinds of pink flowers out there. And so I look at those. We withdraw our attention from what makes us feel unsettled and bad, and we put it on what we desire for ourselves. We're dropping a pebble into divine mind because we know that once we start to feel peaceful, that moves out into the world. It ripples out in consciousness, and then we know that all others are also feeling peace. We allow it to be so, and we trust that we perceive our bodily senses to catch up with what we are perceiving with our inner senses, that all are one and that all have and are peace. So we can affirm, today I look within for peace. I let there be peace. Thank you for having me. Namaste.
Thank you, Jeff. That was absolutely wonderful. And I just want to say, as you were talking, I recently started a new thing of meditation, but it's what it is it's listening to music on certain vibrations.
Mhm.
And those vibrations then, enhance healing or peace or whatever it may be. And Michael gave me that um, a set of headsets that because my ear pods kept falling out and I didn't like it, and gave me a nice set of headsets. And I have been able to use those. And that vibration, that music is really, really amazing. Because we're getting that. Why am I getting all this feedback on my phone or on my, I'll have to figure that out. What was that? John? Okay. All right. So anyways, the, to know that vibration, when you were talking about the vibrations and how vibration is such an important part of what we're doing and feeling. And as we recognize that peace is already there, we just have to acknowledge it and really know it. So I really think it's absolutely wonderful. And I'm going to turn this over to anybody else who may want to talk and ask any questions or comment.
Well, Jeff, that was just off the chain. That was really wonderful. And I think that again, you reminded us of the song, "Let There Be Peace on Earth and Let It Begin with Me." And I think that that's for me, I know that that's I like the analogy of the broadcasting station, whereas, as we vibrate in peace, as we maintain peace in the midst of the storm, that what happens is that we're able then to transcend it. And the image that I got, again, not only with the hurricane, but also that some meditative practices, they say that um, w- when wheat's being ground, that what happens is that, again, that when you're in the wheel itself, that what happens, again, you get ground up. But if the kernel goes towards the center, that what happens is that they don't get ground up. So I think going into that peaceful center, and again, vibrating from a place of peace, and to let the news that we get to be our prayer list, and rather than to be upset by it, to transform our vibration and to exclaim, "Peace, be still." So again, Jeff, that was wonderful. Thank you so very much, and thank you for being my friend. Thank you. I really appreciate that, and colleague.
You're welcome. That last part is the tough part for me. Being your friend on an equal level, especially when we're doing, and let me explain. When we're doing fireside chat, and like we were joking earlier when Diana said, "Am I your sidekick or are you mine?" I like to think that I'm the one in charge, but I know that in the end, in the final analysis, we are on equal level. So it is that. I do find it a lot easier to bring in a little bit of humor when I've got somebody to play off of. But yeah. Um, but yeah, music, and I could have focused a little bit more on that, and I kind of wish that I had, but we just by chatting about it and talking about it, uh, you know, if it makes us feel more peaceful, I'm all for it.
We
It's
talked
always
about-
your next talk to focus more on it.
There you go.
we talk about peace and sing about peace quite a bit here in this group. And back in the day, a friend of mine made contact with a group, I think it was out of Chicago, actually, called the Inner Peace Movement back in the 70s, I believe it was. And they came to the East Coast and put on some kind of a workshop. I believe they traveled around doing kind of a meditation and spiritual oriented a workshop, the Inner Peace Movement. But when you use the term inner peace, that reminded me of that group that used to travel around doing that.
Hmm.
Very nice.
I think we need
Unless
to
there-
revive something like that.
I didn't know if you'd ever heard of it.
They're still around, it looks like. I just did a
Oh,
real
okay.
quick search. Yeah.
Oh, you did.
Yeah. IPMinternational.org. IPM International, or yeah, I guess it could be international, but Inner Peace Movement International. How cool is that?
That is cool. All right, unless there's any other questions or comments. Okay, we're gonna let John do a song then.
All right. Well, I do a song that I used to do monthly for a while when people would have a birthday. Well, this is birthday week in my family. My birthday, my son's birthday, and a week and a half ago, Leia was born, Keon's new baby. So I'll sing us all the birthday song. And when you think of it, every day's a birthday. You wake up in the morning, it's like being born again, right? So just think of it as your birthday today, and hear the lyrics of the birthday song. Yes, it's been another year. Once again, your birthday's here. Ask yourself just how you are by now. Count the years upon your hands. How you've changed like tide swept sands. It doesn't seem like too long anyhow. Birthdays seem to quickly come and go. They are milestones of your life through which you grow. As the seasons turn around the star, life moves on for being who you are. Yes, your happy birthday's here, a time to look back on the year, how people, plans, and changes led you now. Time and people come and go, yet friends remain to let you know they care for you, no matter anyhow. Birthdays seem to quickly come and go. They are milestones of your life through which you grow. As the seasons turn around the star, life moves on for being who you are. So count the years upon your hands. You're changing like the shifting sands. Even so, you're finding you can smile. We grow through changes every day. These are but the dues we pay for the chance to live a good life all the while.
Thank you, John. That was very nice. So it is that time in our service where we give everybody the opportunity to give. There's a couple ways you can give. You can go to Zelle and you can go to sscofakron@gmail.com. That's sscofakron@gmail.com. And you can give that way. Or you can send a check or a money order to 1199 Lexington Avenue, Akron, Ohio, 44310. Just make sure that it is sent, at least has the word Summit on it, whether it be Summit Center or Summit Spiritual Center, or just make sure it has Summit. So with that, let's just take our gifts, even if it's not exactly, but we'll imagine it in our hands, right top over left, and just know with me that all that we have, all that we give, all that we receive is blessed in a very gracious manner. And that as it goes out to the work of Summit Center, and it goes back to each individual 10 times or more. So with this, I just give thanks. I give thanks for all the good that is happening right here and right now. So it is. Okay, how about some good, more good, Don?
Good and more good is mine, and ever increasing good is mine. Unlimited, infinite good is mine. Wherever I go, I see good. Whatever I do, I feel oh so good. I'm worthy and entitled to good and more good. Good crowds itself upon us, wraps itself around us. We give ourselves permission to accept more good, express more good. Good, more good is ours, and ever increasing good is ours. Thank you, Spirit, and so it is.
All right, thank you so much. And I'm going to turn this over for announcements.
Well, yeah, ntmedia.org. That's where I spend most of my week. And also, that's where you can hear the dynamic duo team of Mangus and Radcliffe as we.
No.
Or
Flip
the
that
world.
around. I get top billing.
Okay, Radcliffe and Mangus. Okay. Yeah, but you see, that doesn't hold it. Well, that was the always the kid in radio is who came first. You know, it's like, you know, Abbott or Costello or whatever. But yeah, ntmedia.org. Also, Carol Ann and I are working on a meditation series to begin later in October, and we will. You'll be getting an email on that, and also we'll be telling you more about that here in a few weeks. So the series will be on Wednesday evenings. So we will invite you. We'll have a special Zoom room for that. So it's for the first 2 weeks, it's us meditating together. And then Carol Ann will present a wonderful workshop on deepening the presence for the month of November. So I think everyone's be ready for that. So that's up and coming. And again, we'll give you more information about that. And I will send prayers and blessings from Unity Village as I go there, not this coming week, but the following week. So I will not be with you physically, but no, I'll see you guys on the replay and then be with you then the following week.
Well, you've been going there a lot. You should buy a little house there in Missouri somewhere. Yeswise.com. Look for the Inspire Yeswise. I post something about every week on some kind of inspirational idea or motivational, something along that line. Yeswise.com.
I know we don't have the exact date. Do we have a time for Carol Ann's?
Yes, 8 Eastern, correct? Carol Ann? Yes.
All right.
All right, yeah.
Okay. So unless there's any more announcements, it is that time in the service where we do a moment of silence. And I have a wonderful cool bell that Carol Ann gave us. I will go from, there's three there, three bells there. I will go from highest to lowest. When we're done, I'll do lowest to highest. And anyways, let's just, as we go to the silence, just bring into mind your heart and mind in your prayers, anyone who may need some healing, whether it be healing physical, mental, emotional, prosperity, abundance, or just more peace in their life, or if it's just for the world. Let's just go to the silence. Oh, wait a minute. I didn't turn on mine. You can't hear it. Okay, now I'll do it. All right. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. And wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
We are the people of love. We are the people of love. Sing out, people, sing out love. We are the people of love. We are the people of peace. We are the people of peace. Sing out, people, sing out peace. We are the people of peace. We are the people of joy. We are the people of joy. Sing out, people, sing out joy. We are the people of joy. We are the people of love. We are the people of love. Sing out, people, sing out love. We are the people of love. We are the people of love.
Okay, with that, this is our service. So what's next week? I'll be the speaker. Following will be Carol Ann, then John Miller, and then the last week in October will be Michael Magus. Is it really October already? Oh my goodness. All right. Well, so unless there's anything else, I'm going to say, Andy, you can turn off the Facebook feed, and then we can just go to